The gentle lesson of time. There comes a time in every long life when the noise of the world begins to fade and a softer wisdom takes its place. You begin to see that peace is not found in more people, more words, or more possessions. It is found in what you choose to keep close and what you gently let go of. In youth, we are taught to hold on to friendships, to love, to promises that often change with the seasons. But as the years unfold, a deeper lesson quietly appears. Not everyone who walks beside you deserves to stay beside you. The elders who have lived through laughter, loss, and long decades of watching people come and go know this truth well. Peace has a price, and that price is choice. When we were younger, we often mistook kindness for obligation. We thought saying yes made us good, that patience was the same as peace. But as the seasons pass, the wise among us learn that there's a difference between helping someone and being drained by them, between caring and being used, between keeping company and losing oneself in noise. These are the lessons whispered by time, quiet but unmistakable. And so this is not a story of bitterness nor rejection. It's a story of wisdom, of learning to protect your energy, your heart, and your peace. In this journey, we'll walk through 7 kinds of people that elders across generations have learned to avoid. Not because they are bad, but because their presence keeps us from growing in peace. Along the way, you'll hear reflections, gentle humor, and truths that only life's long road can teach. Because the secret to a long, peaceful life isn't about how many people love you. It's about how deeply you learn to love your own stillness. 1. The energy drainers, those who empty your spirit. There are people who never bring light when they enter a room, only a quiet heaviness that lingers long after they've left. You know them, the ones who always have a problem but never a solution, who draw you into their storms and leave you gasping for calm. They don't mean to harm, yet somehow their presence feels like walking under a cloud that follows you wherever you go. You listen, you comfort, you try to help, but by the time the conversation ends, you feel smaller, dimmer, and strangely tired. These are the energy drainers, people who empty your spirit without ever realizing it. In youth, we could handle them better. Our minds were sharper, our energy endless, and our patience strong. But in the later years, peace becomes our medicine, and calm our most precious treasure. When someone drones your joy or scatters your thoughts, you begin to notice how much of your life is quietly slipping away. Every sigh, every unnecessary worry, every repeated story of someone else's chaos, it adds up. And after decades of giving away our strength, we learn that peace cannot survive around those who live on complaints. Elders often say, if you sit by a fire too long, you'll smell like smoke. The same goes for people. Spend too long near constant negativity, and even your gentle heart begins to feel heavy. You may find yourself thinking more about what's wrong than what's right, talking more about people than about ideas, and losing your laughter without even realizing it. That is how slow spiritual erosion begins. But the good news is, you don't have to fight these people, nor hate them. The secret is distance, not anger. Let them talk while you choose silence. Let them rush while you walk slow. Let them complain while you quietly thank the day for another sunrise. When you stop feeding their fire, it burns out on its own. Protecting your peace is not selfishness, it's sacred maintenance. The elders who live longest and smile easiest are those who learned early to guard their emotional space. They stopped being the sponge for everyone's sadness and started becoming the stone that holds stillness within. The energy drainers will always exist, but they will always be powerless before a mind that no longer entertains their chaos. So ask yourself this gentle question. Who in your life leaves you tired, not inspired? Who drains, not uplifts? It's never too late to step back and breathe again. A quiet day alone is far more healing than a long day spent among those who make peace impossible. 2. The disrespectful ones, those who forget your worth. There comes a time when you begin to see that respect is not about age alone. It's about recognition of soul. In a world that moves faster each year, many people forget the value of those who came before them. The disrespectful ones are not always loud. Sometimes their disrespect hides in silence, in the way they interrupt your stories, correct your memories, or laugh at the wisdom that once guided generations. They speak as if you have lived too long to matter. Yet the truth is, you have lived long enough to see what truly does. Disrespect is a slow wound. It doesn't bleed, but it bruises the spirit. You notice it at family gatherings, when your voice is politely ignored, or when the young assume you have nothing new to offer. Once upon a time, your words carried weight. Now they float away like smoke. That quiet sting is what many elders know too well. It isn't pride that hurts, it's invisibility. You gave your years, your energy, your care, and somewhere along the way, the world forgot that you built the very ground it stands on. But here's the wisdom that age brings. Your worth was never dependent on their acknowledgement. You don't need the young to confirm your value. Time has already done that. Every wrinkle on your face is a chapter of courage. Every scar, a story of endurance. Those who disrespect elders reveal far more about their own emptiness than your fading importance. And those who still listen, who ask, who care, they are the ones who keep the sacred bridge between generations alive. So how do you deal with those who forget your worth? You don't argue, you don't plead. You stand tall in quiet grace. Respond not with bitterness, but with dignity. Speak when you wish, not when you're invited. And when you feel unseen, remind yourself, wisdom does not need applause. The sun does not ask the earth to notice its warmth. It simply shines. Let your calm presence be your answer. Remember, my friends, the disrespectful will eventually face their own mirror. Someday they too will grow old and wonder why no one listens. Life has a way of returning every lesson in its time. So keep your peace, live with humor, grace, and quiet power. True respect begins with self-respect, and that no one can take from you. 3. The manipulators. Those who use kindness as a tool. Kindness is one of life's purest gifts, but it is also the easiest to misuse. Manipulators know this well. They see gentle hearts as open doors and confuse generosity with weakness. They wear smiles that seem soft, but hide sharp intentions. They appear grateful, but calculate beneath their gratitude. For elders who have lived long, this type of person is not unfamiliar. You've met them at some point, maybe even cared for them deeply, before realizing that what they wanted was not you, but what you could give. Manipulators don't always shout or demand. They often whisper. They play the role of the helpless one, the misunderstood one, the only you can help me one. They make you feel needed, and that's how they gain power. For those of us who've spent a lifetime giving, helping, and forgiving, it can be hard to recognize that someone's sorrow might not be sincere. But once you do, you begin to see that manipulation is a quiet form of theft, not of money, but of spirit. It steals your energy, your time, and your peace, all while wearing the mask of friendship. The wisdom of old age teaches us this. Not every cry deserves an answer, and not every need is your responsibility. Some people grow stronger when you help them. Others grow weaker because they learn to lean forever. The hardest lesson is realizing that helping too much can harm both sides. Manipulators feed off that endless kindness, because your goodness becomes their excuse to never grow. But wisdom changes the game. Once you see the pattern, you no longer need to fight. You simply stop playing. You stop explaining yourself. Stop rushing to solve. Stop giving where your spirit feels small. You begin to choose peace over guilt. You learn to say, I care, but I cannot. And understand that saying no is not cruelty, it's clarity. In the end, manipulators can only survive where confusion lives. The moment you see their game clearly, their control fades like fog under sunlight. You are not here to fix everyone's world. You are here to protect your own calm. So, to my fellow elders, never apologize for your boundaries. They are not walls. They are gates that open only to honesty. You spent decades building wisdom. Don't let anyone rent your peace for free. Remember, those who truly care for you never demand your soul as payment for their affection. 4. The gossips, those who poison peace. If there's one thing that travels faster than truth, it's gossip. It slips through doors, dances over fences, and sits on every teacup in town. For generations, elders have watched how gossip ruins friendships, breaks families, and steals the sweetness of community. It starts as small talk, harmless, even funny, but it never ends small. Because gossip doesn't feed on facts, it feeds on excitement. And excitement, as we all know, often comes at the cost of someone's peace. When we were younger, many of us enjoyed a little storytelling. Did you hear about so-and-so? With a doorway to laughter, curiosity, and connection. But with time, you realize every word that leaves your mouth carries weight, and every ear that listens either waters kindness or weeds cruelty. The gossips of this world are like restless winds. They carry words that don't belong to them, scattering them until no one remembers where the storm began. And when you reach the later years of life, peace becomes too precious to waste on such winds. The funny thing about gossip is how it always pretends to be care. I'm only telling you this because I worry about her, or I just thought you should know. But beneath those gentle phrases hides something darker. The quiet pleasure of knowing what others don't, or of judging what others have done. The wise elder learns to smile, listen politely, and then let the words pass through like air. Because the moment you carry gossip, you carry someone else's shadow into your home. To live long and live peacefully, avoid those who thrive on whispers. The gossips will never find stillness because their hearts are always crowded with other people's business. Let them talk. Let them circle their stories. You, instead, keep your circle clean. Not perfect, just peaceful. Speak less, listen deeply, and when tempted to discuss others, turn that energy inward. Am I being fair? Am I being kind? That single question can save 1,000 friendships. The great secret of peace is not just avoiding noise. It's avoiding unnecessary words. A quiet cup of tea in solitude is more healing than an hour spent discussing who said what. Because in the end, no one remembers the gossiper fondly. They remember the one who stayed kind, who stayed silent, who refused to add fuel to fire. So laugh kindly, speak softly, and guard your tongue as you guard your peace. The elders who master silence carry an invisible crown, one of dignity, calm, and timeless wisdom. 5. The ungrateful souls, those who take but never give. Every elder knows them, the ones who always come when they need something, but vanish when you need them. The ones who borrow your time, your ear, your comfort, and sometimes even your savings, but never once think to return the smallest gesture of gratitude. They are the ungrateful souls, not evil, not cruel, but deeply unaware. They have taken so long that they have forgotten how to give. For much of our lives, we let such people stay. We told ourselves, it's all right, kindness will change them. But kindness without balance becomes an invitation for misuse. The longer you keep giving to the ungrateful, the emptier you begin to feel. It starts quietly. You begin to expect nothing. You stop asking for help. You'll even smile while you're tired. But deep down, a part of your spirit begins to ache from being unseen. The truth is, gratitude is not just manners. It's energy. It's what completes the circle of giving. When someone takes but never appreciates, they break that circle, and all that remains is fatigue. Elders who've lived through this know that peace requires boundaries, and boundaries are not fences. They are gates of respect. Saying no to the ungrateful is not selfishness. It's self-respect wearing its calmest face. The ungrateful will often make you feel guilty for protecting your peace. They'll say you've changed or you used to care. But they're right. You have changed. You've grown wiser. You've learned that love without gratitude turns into labor, and patience without limits becomes self-harm. Life after 60 teaches us this truth more clearly than ever. If someone cannot say thank you, they do not deserve constant access to your care. So, Choose to give where your giving grows joy, not exhaustion. Invest your kindness where it multiplies, not where it disappears. When you help those who truly value you, you feel lighter, not lonelier. And that, my friend, is the mark of a healthy soul, to serve with joy, not with silent resentment. Remember, it's never too late to teach others how to treat you. Speak your truth softly, but stand by it firmly. And when you meet those who never learned gratitude, let them learn it through your absence. Silence, too, can be a teacher. 6. The fear spreaders. Those who live in constant worry. There's a certain kind of person who cannot live without a shadow, who finds comfort not in calm, but in concern. They fear everything: the future, the weather, the neighbors, the news, and sometimes even their own reflection in the mirror of life. They mean no harm, yet their every word carries the chill of anxiety. They are the fear spreaders, the ones who unknowingly turn peace into panic. When you're around them, you begin to notice how heavy the air becomes. A simple story becomes a warning. A small ache becomes an omen. They call you not to ask how you are, but to remind you what could go wrong. And while they think they're caring, what they're really doing is transferring their fear onto your heart. Elders know this pattern well. Many of us have lived through decades of uncertainty, wars, loss, change, and rebuilding. We've learned that life is barely safe, but it can always be lived fully. The tragedy of the fear spreader is that they forget this truth. Their world has no sunlight, only shadows. And if you're not careful, their shadows begin to follow you home. Fear is contagious, but so is courage. Just as one trembling voice can shake a room, one calm presence can heal it. You cannot always silence the fearful, but you can choose not to echo them. The best protection against your worry is quiet confidence, not arrogance, not debate, just a soft, steady peace that says, I have lived long enough to trust the road ahead. You see, fear thrives in imagination, but wisdom grows in memory. When you've seen life carry you through every storm, you no longer panic at the thunder. The fear spreader has forgotten their strength. They only remember their scars. But you, the elder soul, can remind them, not with sermons, but with serenity. When they speak of what might go wrong, you can simply smile and say, yes, but what if it goes right? Do not let the fearful drain your hope. Love them, listen to them, but do not breathe in their air. Keep your home filled with calm, open windows, warm tea, soft light, and faith. Fear will always knock, but it only enters if you invite it in. 7. The pretenders. Those who smile but secretly compete. The pretenders are the hardest to recognize. They arrive with warm smiles, polite words, and gestures that seem thoughtful. Yet beneath the surface, a quiet competition simmers. They compare your life to theirs, your family to theirs, your achievements to theirs, and they measure your worth with a yardstick no one asked for. At first, it may seem harmless, a joke, a compliment, or a teasing comment. But over time, the pretender's true nature reveals itself. Their affection is conditional, their praise a veiled challenge, and their company a subtle contest. Elders often say that pretenders are like mirrors reflecting a distorted image of yourself. They do not exist to uplift you. They exist to measure you. You may have laughed at their words, shared your stories, or offered advice, only to find later that your openness became fuel for comparison. They thrive on your effort, yet their gratitude is always masked, always incomplete. And the danger is not only that they steal peace, is that they make you doubt yourself, your wisdom, and even your joy. But here is the lesson of age. You no longer need approval to be at peace. You have lived long enough to see the value of authenticity, and the pretender's games cannot reach the one who walks in quiet truth. Smile back if you must, speak if you choose, but never let subtle competition dictate your calm. Their measure is irrelevant. Your life is not theirs to judge. The secret to handling pretenders is simple yet profound. presence without validation. Allow them to exist in their competition, but do not engage in the contest. Protect your dignity, honor your own journey, and cherish those who love you for who you truly are, not for how you compare. Pretenders may persist, but their influence fades in the presence of a confident, peaceful soul. And remember, the calm elder does not fight shadows. They walk in light, quietly, without a need to prove or explain. In time, even pretenders learn that kindness cannot be outshone and respect cannot be feigned. The art of a peaceful circle. After a long life of experiences, laughter, struggles, and quiet victories, one truth stands above all others. Peace is a choice. The elders who live longest, who smile easiest, who walk with grace through the world, have discovered this secret. They have learned to surround themselves not with everyone who asks for their presence, but with those whose hearts honor theirs. They have learned that the quality of relationships matters infinitely more than the quantity. As we reflect on the 7 types of people to avoid, the energy drainers, the disrespectful, the manipulators, the gossips, the ungrateful, the fear spreaders, and the pretenders, one pattern emerges. Peace requires boundaries, and boundaries are not walls. They are gates, gently but firmly maintained. They are acts of love for oneself, lessons of dignity, and invitations for others to honor the sacred space of your heart. Living a long, peaceful life does not mean avoiding the world. It means engaging with it wisely, selectively, and joyfully. It means laughing when laughter heals, listening when listening nurtures, and walking away when staying would diminish your spirit. True freedom is found in knowing whom to embrace and whom to leave behind. The elders who master this balance carry a quiet power, one that no negativity can touch. And so to every viewer who walks this path with us, cherish your stillness, protect your heart, and cultivate a circle of true companionship. Seek people who lift you, who inspire you, who share their light without dimming yours. Let go of those who drain, diminish, or distract you from the serenity that you deserve. Your later years are not a time to prove yourself to the world. They are a time to honor yourself, and in doing so, honor the wisdom of all the years you've lived. If these lessons have resonated with you, remember that Timeless Wisdom Path is here to guide you through every step of the journey. Subscribe, stay connected, and join us as we explore more stories, advice, and reflections that honor life's quiet truths. Walk gently, choose wisely, and let your life be a testament to peace, dignity, and a timeless wisdom that only experience can teach.